refrigerator, I don't know if it would still grow or not. If you're doing other ferments that you don't set them side by side because they could cross. By the way, if you happen to have this book here, the sun is shining in so beautifully this morning. We have some floaters. It's getting a little more cloudy, and I feel like it should have a few more bubbles. Maybe I'm wrong. We're gonna feed her, and we've got to do something with her tomorrow. To me, that means our ginger bug is ready. And if you want to know what we're gonna do next, you'll have to stay. Hi friends, so glad that you are here with me today. Got a little bit of a cold going on, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get this video started because I'm super excited to be participating in Fermented February this year because I love trying new things. And fermenting is still, although I've been doing it for a few years, there's still so much to learn and so many new things to do. I have done kombucha off and on over the years, and I really, really like it, but decided this year I wanted to try something different and new. I tend to put ginger in my kombucha anyway, so the concept of a ginger bug really enticed me. So I got super inquisitive about it, and I had to dive in and learn a little bit more. Hey, by the way, if you're new here, my name is Angela, and I am the Inquisitive Farm Wife. You guessed it, the reason I call myself that is because I love to learn new things, and I love to bring all of you with me when we go on these great adventures together, learning new skills or learning what to do or not to do. But either way, we're going to have a good time, and I'm super glad that you're here today. Let's get busy and let's make a ginger bug. What is a ginger bug anyway? So a ginger bug is a probiotic starter, basically, where we're going to make fermented sodas from it and other great things. But first, you have to get your starter started. And that's what we're going to do today. You'll need just a few simple ingredients and tools. We'll start out with a mason jar. Typically, I use a wide mouth, but this happens to be what I have available to me today here in the kitchen. So that's what we're going to use. And then for our topper of our jar, at this point, all we need is a cloth, or I'm just going to use a coffee filter and a rubber band. You'll need some filtered distilled water. This is my pitcher that I keep out on the counter. A lot of times we use it to make our coffee with, but because it has been setting, the water that'll go in there is non-chlorinated at this point. And then sugar, okay? There's going to be a huge debate about what sugar to use. Well, that's going to be up to you. Whether you use organic cane sugar or if you use, like me, I'm just using regular, I believe it's probably a beet sugar. I have heard you could use honeys and other different things. For today, for simplicity's sake, we're just going to use what I happen to have on hand. You'll need a non-reactive spoon of sorts. And then you'll, of course, need cutting equipment and ginger. I happen to have organic ginger today. And first thing I want to do, because less dishes is better. I have a couple of fermenting books, and even some of my canning books have fermenting stuff in it. But I also went to some of my favorite sites online, and I've just kind of combined the concepts from several of them to come up with what we're going to try in today's video. And because I don't want to measure and have a separate dish to wash, I have a 2-cup measurement right here on my jar, and we're just going to fill our water to that 2-cup mark. Now, some recipes you add ginger, water, and sugar every single day for the entire week. This one, we're adding it once and we're done. So now, over the next 5 to 7 days, we're going to repeat the process of what we're getting ready to do right now, which is we're going to measure out. Today, we're going to do 3 tablespoons of sugar. And then every subsequent day afterwards, it'll just be 1 tablespoon. We're going to give this a little stir. Let those sugars start to kind of melt while we get busy with our ginger. We're going to need about 3 tablespoons today. I'm kind of looking over my ginger because I bought this a while back, and I've noticed that some of them have started acting a little old, and they're going to need chopped up a little bit. And so I want to use those pieces up first. And each one of these pieces, like the size of a thumb, will probably give you your tablespoons. So I need to first cut any of those bad spots off. And I want to get deep in there and make sure, oh, that smells so good. I love ginger. I want to make sure that I am not going to get any of that with me. So anywhere where any of those fingers were taken off, I want to chop any of these spots that I think might be bad off before I do anything else. Okay, now that I feel I've got those pieces off, just because we had a little bit of an issue with this ginger, normally I wouldn't, with it being organic, I would just rinse it and be okay with it, but I'm not super comfortable with how this particular ginger is. So I'm just going to take my spoon and we're going to peel off that skin. You do what works best for you, depending on what kind of ginger you have. Did you know that there's different kinds of ginger? That there's actually like a blue Hawaiian ginger? Do you grow your own ginger? I've heard that you can grow it just about anywhere. I've thought about taking some of this and putting it in a pot with some soil just to see what happens. But because it's been in the refrigerator, I don't know if it would still grow or not. That might be an experiment too. So some people like to grate their ginger. I'm just going to give it a good little chop because that will make it easier later to strain it off. So 1 tablespoon, close to 2, a second one. Okay, now all we need to do is we're going to stir this up really well. Put on our coffee filter and rubber band. And then we're going to put this out of direct sunlight. So just over on the counter where the sunlight doesn't directly shine. Just make sure if you're doing other ferments that you don't set them side by side because they could cross-contaminate each other. So if you're doing any sort of sourdough or kombucha or any of the such, don't set them right beside each other. And we'll let this sit and we'll feed it again tomorrow. By the way, if you happen to have this book here, it has a ginger bug starter recipe inside. Okay, we're back. It's day 2. And here is our ginger bug start. I see we've got a couple things that have kind of floated up and down. This has been a bit interesting and fun to watch over the last, though it's not been quite 24 hours. So we'll take off the lid, give it a look, give it a sniff. It smells good. I just love ginger. I do feel that I've got like a couple of rogue peels. I'm going to go ahead and take those out. I feel like I'm starting to see some bubbles. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and grab our tablespoon of sugar and add in there. And we need a tablespoon of ginger as well. Stir it up. Now all we do is put our cover back on and come back and do the same thing again tomorrow. Good morning. It is day 3 of our ginger bug making experiment, and I wanted to show it to you. So excited. You can see we've got some floaters. Do you see that? Do you see those tiny bubbles? Things are starting to happen. Okay, so same thing we did yesterday. We'll take off our filter lid. We're gonna look inside, sniff it. It smells lovely. And I hope that you can, I don't know that you can see all these bubbles the way I can. The sun is shining in so beautifully this morning. And I'm learning that having a few floating pieces of ginger is not a bad thing. 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 tablespoon of ginger. Now I have my pieces chopped pretty big. I may chop the next batch a little smaller. Let's give it a good stir. Stirring it all up just to kind of help dissolve these sugars. Whip in some air. You want to get some oxygen going in there. You can see the color has definitely changed a little bit. It's a little more cloudy now. So I'm going to go ahead and put our filter back on with the rubber band. Today's day 4, and we are working on our ginger bug. I'm so excited. All right, here it is. I'm going to call her Ginger. I was originally going to go with the word buggy, but I decided, no, we'll call her Ginger. She smells lovely, still sweet smelling, but check this out. Do you see the bubbles that I see? We have some floaters. It's getting a little more cloudy, and I'm seeing more action, but we still need to feed it. I don't think it's quite ready yet. About a thumb's worth. This should get us our tablespoon of ginger. We've got our sugar. Let's go ahead and put that in the jar. 1 tablespoon. I know it seems like we're putting a lot of sugar in there, but this is what is feeding Ginger, and she needs that energy to do all the things to make all the anaerobic, aerobic, all the things happen. So I'm going to just take a spoon, my thumb of ginger. Remember, this is an organic ginger. You do not need to peel it, but mine was looking a little funkadelic, so I don't want to take any chances. And I'm going to pull off this skin. And then any places where it had been cut or pulled apart, we'll go ahead and cut those off too, because we don't want any weird bacteria in here. You know, none of the unwanted stuff. So here we go. Our thumb. Oh, it smells good. I just absolutely love ginger, don't you? I mean, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to do stuff with this. Now I'm ready to start cutting. And I just had to tell you a little bit about this Fichloas, I think is how you say it, knife. They gave me this huge magnetic knife set to try out. And I have been having a blast using it. I am loving it. I love how the knives sit in my hands. And today we're going to use the Santoku style knife to chop this up. I'll have more information for you. If nothing else, I can put a link for Amazon down there for you if this is something you're interested in. People are always asking me what I'm using, and this is a new, different knife than I've used before. So I wanted to share that with all of you. I think I want to slice this a little bit thinner than I did last time. I think possibly we might get a little bit better of a product. See, my slices are a little bit thinner than they were before. And now I'm going to chop that even more to kind of make slivers instead of chunks this time, because a lot of people will actually take their ginger and they will shred it, but then it's harder to filter through. So I'm going to turn this one more time and we'll give it one more chop. See, that's a lot more fine. 1, 2, and 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. So we did good, guys. Now we're going to stir this up and we're going to add some air into this. We're leaving this at room temperature. Now I'll take this, set it back over on the counter where it is out of direct sunlight. Indirect, it's okay. And we'll check on it again tomorrow. I can't believe it. We are on day 5. This is exciting because sometimes on day 5, your ginger bug is ready. I would say in the summer, it could go as little as 3 days. And in the winter, it could take as long as 7 or maybe even 10 days. We are in the dead of winter. I am excited. There are bubbles and things going on. You see that? I'm not sure how much you can actually see. Got the setting on cinematic today for fun to try something new. And it smells very delicious. Like I would want to drink this at this point. So maybe it would or wouldn't be ready, but I feel like it should have a few more bubbles. And maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and give it at least one more day. So here we go. We're going to feed it just like we have in the past. Tablespoon of sugar, a tablespoon of ginger. This is what today's knot looks like. We're going to skin it because, like I said, it is just kind of funkadelic. So I'll skin some of that off, trim it up. Anywhere where I had to open it up that exposed it to the air, it kind of wanted to act like it was trying to mold, and we don't want that. That's not what we're wanting to grow. Roughly taking the skin off, slice it, and then we'll dice it. Now we'll chop it, and into the jar it goes. This is honestly probably 2 tablespoons worth. So I'm going to take about half of this, put in a little container, so we'll have it ready for tomorrow in case we need to feed it then. Okay, now all I'm going to do is stir it up, get a little oxygen going up in this place, cover it up, put it back out of direct sunlight. See you tomorrow. Folks, we are on the evening of day 6. I've been doing this in the mornings, so things are a little bit different. No bubbles. It's gone flat. This is not good. This morning it was bubbly and happy. She's hungry. Still smells good. We're going to feed her and we've got to do something with her tomorrow. Our tablespoon of chopped ginger. I'm going to grab our tablespoon. I'm going to round it off a little bit of sugar just to give a little extra. We're going to go ahead and mixy. She will get fed and hopefully get nice and bubbly, and all will not be lost. So here's to hope. It's been another 24 hours, maybe not quite. I don't know. It's the next day, friends. And here is our ginger bug. There are tiny little bubbles, not big and foamy and super active like it was. So to me, that means our ginger bug is ready. And if you want to know what we're going to do next, you'll have to stay tuned. You'll need to stay tuned for that. I'm going to be bringing you a Sip It or Tip It series where we take our ginger bug and we make some variations of some delicious drinks to try together. And we'll decide if we want to continue to sip it or if we don't like it and we need to dip it. I'll see you then. Bye for now. All right, well, it's Editing Angie, and I unfortunately have to bring you the sad news that the ginger bug died. Life got a little crazy, and it got left out and not fed, and it died. If this is something that you would like to see, I will gladly make a new ginger bug and bring that to you at another time.